All right, my clock says 12 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our virtual workshop today. And as people are logging in, don't worry if you miss anything because we are recording today's workshop, so you'll be able to go back and watch any portion that you missed. But to go ahead and get us started, I'd like to welcome you to our workshop today called Budgeting as a New Homeowner. My name is Amanda Bollig, and I'm the Home Repair Manager here at Loudoun Habitat for Humanity. But I also have the pleasure of overseeing our Tools for Life Learning Center. We have a lot of information we'd like to cover today, so I'm going to start by introducing you to our guest presenter. So joining us is Martin Rios. He's a HUD Certified Housing Counselor at Cornerstones. So if you're not familiar with Cornerstones, it's a local nonprofit organization that really focuses on promoting self-sufficiency by providing support and advocacy in areas like food, shelter, affordable housing, quality childcare, and human services. So we're very excited about having them join us today because they really are just a leading expert when it comes to housing counseling and mortgage information and things like that. So thank you, Martin, for joining us. We're glad that you're here today. And if you have questions for Martin during the course of his presentation, what I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and open up your chat feature, type your questions in there, and then we will go ahead and answer those at the end of the presentation. So we'll let Martin get through all of his wonderful content, and then we'll have a dedicated question and answer time for you. But if you have a question that you don't want to forget, by all means, you can type that right into the chat box and we'll keep track of it and make sure that it gets answered for you at the end of the presentation. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Martin to get us started with our first slide today.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Amanda. Good afternoon, everyone here in the session. So my name is Martin Rios. I'm the housing counselor for Cornerstones. And this is a pleasure to be here, and it's a privilege at the same time. So I'm the fan number one of communication and information, because I'm working here in this organization as a housing counselor from the last 15 years. Probably you can imagine that I was able to see all the painful situations for the homeowners incur. And in most of the cases were totally situations out of their control, but the toll that some of them had to pay is very high when the families, when people are not prepared to this. This is something that we would like to cover today. But number one, I really would like to congratulate everybody who reached the dream of homeownership. So now that you are, like I say on this slide, that you are now in the homeownership process, let me tell you, the homeownership process is very similar like a marriage. Because the homeownership process requires time, attention, and maintenance, and sometimes an occasional repair works. Okay, and that's exactly what you are trying to learn today in this seminar. We are going to go over some common tips, common issues, and tools to help new homeowners to easily go and be successful on that we call default resistant homeownership. So we would like to do the best that we can to avoid in all the ways to fall on default. Homeownership, like a great relationship, we say so many times, should be fun, should be rewarding, and relatively easy journey through life ups and downs that everyone has. So if you have the right tools and information and attitude, everything is possible. I hope that you can enjoy this presentation, and if you have questions, like Amanda said, feel free to put all your questions on the chat. And if you have, after this session, additional questions that you would like to be responded, feel free to contact Amanda or myself. Our information will be at the end of this presentation. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the topics that we are going to discuss today. The first one, manage your money and don't let your money manage you. Savings and emergency savings, and what's the difference between one to another? We are going to talk about the insurance, and finally, we are going to talk about important documents. What kind of important documents, Martin? So we are going to tell you what you really will see are the most important documents that any family would like to keep. Let me talk about the first topic, the manage your money. During the last 15 years that I'm here as a housing counselor, usually when my clients came over to my office, one of the first things that we need to start working is with their budget. So unfortunately, in this country, most of the families do not do a budget. Okay, but let me share my experience that is the most usual experience with my clients. So when clients come to my office and I ask them to fill it up a budget because we need to see how they spend their money in order to control the situation and see what options they have when they fall in trouble. So basically, they put their mind and say, "Oh, I spend in mortgage this, utility more or less. I spend this on in car insurance more or less this, internet, groceries, eating out more or less. Sometimes this." And but basically, this is a budget prepared for whatever you have on mind. And this is not the right thing. My clients, our clients working with us in this program, they learn that is a totally different way to prepare your budget. And your budget is the basis for that you can fix any financial issues at home. So I really will challenge any of you today, if you would like to change your situation or prepare for the future to start controlling your money, you are not going to do it from one day to another. I believe that control the money is something like a loose weight. It takes time, it takes effort, but you can do it and you can start today. I'm going to challenge everyone to do something that is extremely important for this step. Go back for your last 2 months bank statements and all 2 months credit card statements and try to prepare a budget, not on whatever information you have on your mind. Instead of that, use the real information that you have on your statements, bank or credit card statements, and try to put that information on your budget. You will be surprised at the end of the day to see how much you spend. And most probably, the amount that you spend is totally different than the amount that you have on your mind. So this is a real shock for many of our clients, but this is the starting point. You are gonna, as soon as you see how much it really costs to live in your house, because the budget, we are gonna show you the real numbers, how much it costs to live in your own house, you will start trying to change the things for better. Okay, and one of the rules that we use, one of the most common rules that we use in order to address any financial situation is try. And again, I'm not gonna pretend that everybody gonna do this on the first week or the first month. Again, it takes time, but if you start in today, you are gonna be able to get results very soon using this rule that is the 50, 30, and 20 rule. What is the 50, 30, and 20 rule? This rule means to separate your income in these three important categories: needs, wants, and savings. We are going to go over in each of those categories. Next slide, please. The rule 50, 30, 20, your needs. What are considered your needs? Your needs are considered all those expenses that suspended or cut it, it will bring a bigger inconvenience in your life. You really need it, all right? For instance, what kind of expenses are these category? 50% are your housing, your groceries, your utilities, your health insurance. If you don't have any of these basic expenses, you are gonna be in trouble sooner or later, all right? Nobody can live without a roof over their heads. Nobody can live without spend some money on groceries. And nobody can live without a house, without electricity or gas or water, of course. And health insurance, yeah, this is something that we can discuss. There is several programs that I understand the health insurance are very expensive in our country, but this is important because it's the number one cause of the bankruptcies for individual people in this country. All right, but as like you have needs, you have also wants. What do we consider a wants? That is the 30% rule. The wants is all those expenses that will bring minor inconvenience but will improve your quality of life. Will improve your quality of life. You need it? Not necessary. Example of wants is your shopping, your dining out, shoes, clothes, some hobbies, uh, cars, new cars, for instance, vacations. And some people will maybe disagree with me if I say manicure, your nails, your hair, or that kind of thing. But let's be honest, this is not an essential expense in your regular budget, all right? And the 20% left over is what we consider your savings or your debts. It's the money that you allocate, number one, for your emergency funds. What is an emergency funds, Martin? Well, let me tell you. As soon as you complete a budget, you clearly will see how much it costs to live in your own house. In some houses, they have a budget for $2,000, $3,000. Some other houses will have budgets of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. It doesn't matter. Every single house is different. But 1 month of expense, yeah, means the very basic emergency funds. What is the emergency fund that you recommend, Martin? Not personally, but most of the people who understand all these factors probably better than me, they consider that 6 months emergency funds are the most reasonable amount that you have to set aside. Why? Because things happens all the time in our life. You can lose your job, you can fall sick, you can have issues like I'm gonna tell you some of my clients, my past client issues. They have legal issues, they have cancer. Some of them they have loss of jobs. Some of them have big repairs at home, or some of them fallen in a car accidents and they were unable to continue working. And during that time, the fact that you are unable to continue working not necessarily means that the expenses will continue coming to home. But if you don't have an income to support, you're really gonna be in trouble. That's why exactly what we try to avoid today. Okay, prepare our families for those difficult situations. Everybody will have at some point of their life a few times with a very difficult situation. I hope that never happened to my clients or anybody in my community, but unfortunately, that's part of the normal life. Okay, and after your emergency funds, you have your regular savings. That's totally different. The emergency fund is the kind of saving that you cannot touch. Never, never, because it's your emergency fund. Your emergency funds are not the funds for vacations. Your emergency funds is not the down payment for a new car. No, that's not part of an emergency fund. Emergency fund is just for emergency. The pizza, the new car, the vacation, the Chuck E. Cheese, nothing of that is considered an emergency. Your savings is something different. After you fulfill the amount that you consider reasonable for your emergency fund. I'm not gonna tell you how much it's gonna be reasonable. You can set up your own rules at home, but after that, any money saved after that is gonna be part of your savings. Sometimes you can spend part of your savings in something that you consider important for you or your family, and but sometimes you can continue, let it grow, okay? And also part of this 20% is to pay off whatever installment you have, installment like a car loans, like a student loans, or revolving debts like your credit cards. But one of the most important, after you fulfill the first goal on your life, that is your own house, now you have to work in your retirement plans. Sooner or later, everybody here will be retired. And nobody can guarantee that whatever pension that you will receive in the future from Social Security will be enough to support your needs on the future. That's why you have to work wisely in advance with your retirement plans. You can set up your 401k with your employer if you have that option, or you can set up your own IRA retirement plans. So whatever option you have, it will be fine as soon as you allocate certain amount of money for this particular savings. It's a savings that you cannot touch. It's not an emergency. It's not your regular savings. You cannot touch in any way. It's your retirement. Okay? The rule 50, 30, and 20. That you are going to get it in 15 days? No, of course not. But you have to work with this. This is your goal. Your goal is to allocate your total monthly income in these three categories. Okay? And you can do it. Many of my clients, they started. In some cases, it took like 2 months, 3 months. In some other cases, for some clients, it took more than a year. But I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them because at the end, with the right amount of effort, everybody was able to get it. And then they keep the discipline to continue in this effort. And that at the end is going to bring you the financial peace that you need, that every family needed. But besides the 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 money that we need to talk here, in the next slide, please, we are going to talk about our second topic. What is our second topic? We talking about the emergency savings. We already discussed that is 3 to 6 months of your monthly housing costs. Okay, and don't confuse, please. What is a savings? That is part of your regular saving. That is your investment. That is your retirement. Some people sometimes they use your savings to get a second home. I'm so proud of so many clients. Believe me, at the end as a counselor, I personally learn from my own clients one very important uh, topic. It's not what how much you make in life. At the end, it's most how much you keep. All right, how much you save. Because I have families that are professional. And in my caseload, I have doctors, dentists, engineers, people who really make very, very decent salaries, and they are in the same problems that some other families that have a very low income. But I'm so proud to see some families with very low income that they really try to do their best and their budgeting and trying to reduce costs and only spend the money in what really is important for them, and they basically overcome their situation and be able to create a very strong savings plan. Next slide, please. Talking about insurance, let me tell you very quick about insurance. I have a client right now. It's show up on my office last week. They have a $30,000 suit on court because his dog bite a neighbor, and the neighbor is suing him on court for $30,000 and trying to save money on his homeowner insurance. He forgot to include the dog on the homeowner insurance. Now he's liable to pay those $30,000. That's what we pay insurance. So many insurance we have around our mind. The car insurance, and we need to decide what kind of car insurance we need. We need to full coverage or just a liability coverage. So of course, if we are paying a car loan, probably we are not have the option to pay a liability. But if we are still driving our 2003 Toyota Corolla, probably we don't need full coverage. We just need a liability. So that is something that nobody is going to be able to tell you. This is a personal decision or family decision. Your health insurance, absolutely important. That's why many of my clients, at least, they keep or a full-time or a part-time job who provide benefits because they understand that the health insurance cost is very expensive in our market. The mortgage insurance. If you are the kind of client who have an FHA loan, you never can eliminate your mortgage insurance. But instead of that, if you got a conventional loan, yeah, make sure that you can eliminate your mortgage insurance when you reach a 20% equity on the property that you have. This is a wonderful opportunity. Somebody who has an FHA will ask me the question, Martin, that means that I will never be able to write off of my mortgage insurance because I have an FHA? Well, that's the rules. But if you would like to consider eliminate this, the only option that you have is to refinance that mortgage, that FHA mortgage, and convert it in a conventional mortgage. I will be more than glad if any of you would like to do the numbers. I will prepare all the numbers for free for you. We do not sell mortgage, just we advise to our clients. How about the home warranty? Home warranty insurance. What is a home warranty insurance? Well, a home warranty insurance is that insurance that protects eventual failure in your refrigerator, in your appliances, in your washer or dryer, your furnace, your AC at home. So you don't need to bring a substantial amount of money to pay for a repair. How much is home warranty insurance? Oh, the average policy of home warranty insurance is around $600 per year, but you have to pay a deductible every time that you call them. The deductibles are between $80 to $100 per month. Is worth or not? Well, it depends. Some houses probably are brand new homes and you don't need it for now, but it's something that you need to consider, okay? Because this is another potential expense that is going to happen is if your furnace broke in the middle of winter, you have to fix it, whatever several $1,000 it's going to cost. The homeowner's insurance. The homeowner's insurance is the insurance that protects the house against rain and against water, against some damage on the properties. So this homeowner's insurance is where my client has to include the pit bull, the little pet, all right, and avoid the $30,000 suit that now they have. So my best advice for you is everybody have a homeowner's insurance, okay? But you have to review the policy of your homeowner insurance. Some of my clients have deductibles of $250. And I ask my clients, how many times per year your house gets on fire? Not too many, right? Probably never. So it's maybe some important you consider to increase your deductible in order to decrease your premium insurance. Maybe, but you need to keep in mind that if you are gonna increase your deductible, you have to be ready eventually to pay a $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 deductible if something happened at home. And finally, the life insurance. The life insurance We have basically three kinds of life insurance running around our communities. The universal life insurance, the whole life insurance, or the funeral life insurance. The cheapest one is the funeral life insurance. There are some insurance that you can buy it today. It covers you for the next 10 or 20 years. After 10, 20 years, if nothing happens, the insurance expires and you don't get anything. It's the cheapest one, but at the same time, is the one to give you some kind of protection, right? So, for how much money I have to get a life insurance? For $1 million? No, no, probably not. So I do not sell life insurance, but in most of the cases, some families decide to take a life insurance to protect the amount of the mortgage, because if something happens with him or with her, at least the relative can use the life insurance benefits to pay off the mortgage. Of course, there is the other kind of insurance that you can save money and some cash, it has some cash value at the end. You can use as a retirement. It's a little bit expensive, but my best advice for you, you have to get as much information you want if you need to get involved with one of these. Next slides, please. Next slide. Very good. And so finally, some of the important documents. I divide these documents in two categories. The first one is a regular document that you need to keep at home. What kind of regular documents, Marty? The birth certificate, your social security card, your marriage certificate, adoption papers, death certificate, passports, immigration documents, your home staff bills, the bill where you purchase your refrigerator, the bill that you purchase your stuff, the bill that you purchase your TV. Why that kind of bill is important? Because if something happens in your home and you need to submit a claim to your insurance company, your homeowner's insurance company, guess what? Your homeowner's insurance company will ask for all of this evidence that you have that kind of stuff at home. All right? What else? The warranty. Sometimes you purchase a TV and pay an extra amount for some warranties. Your home and mortgage documents, extremely important. If you get some additional refinance, keep those documents. If you get some kind of modification, keep those documents. Extremely important. You never know when you are going to use it, but I can assure you that sooner or later you are going to use it. Okay, school and college records. And by the other side, you have to be ready. You and me, we are not going to be living forever, right? And there are four important documents that prepare us and our families for the time where we are not going to be here. The number one is your will. What is your will? Your will is your testament. You decide what your descendants, your relatives gonna do with all your belongings. Not only your house, include your house, your car, your Bible, your the important documents, your dining room, everything. The second one is a living will. What is a living will, Martin? It's very similar to your will, but it's a document who have take action before you pass it. All right? It's all your will before you pass it away. Let me give you an example. For instance, so I got a stroke and I got in a permanent coma. And my wife or my children or my brothers, they need to sell the property or change the name on the property or do something with the property. So I will designate a person who will enforce my decision. when I will not able to take it. All right. The third document is a power of attorney. What is a power of attorney? Very similar document that a living will, but this power of attorney, they focus more in terms of money. You can open and close accounts with this power of attorney. You can collect benefits from your social security with this power of attorney only if the person, the main person, is still alive but not able to take this kind of financial decision. Power of attorney, you have to designate one person into your relative group, so and that person will take over the power of attorney. Okay, and finally, the last document, your advanced medical directive. What are the advanced medical directive, Martin? It's all that information that you need to provide or your relatives need to provide to the hospital or to the health institution where you are going to be and your last stage of life, and that is your decisions. If you would like to be administrated with food, with fluids, what they're gonna do with your remaining body before you pass, if you want to donate something. So all those details are included in your advanced medical directives. My last advice for you, you can do with an attorney, or you can do just basically, you can purchase this document sometimes, but the document that you prepare has to be according with the law of the Commonwealth of Virginia. You cannot use forms from Maryland. You cannot use forms from DC. You have to use the form from the Commonwealth of Virginia, and it's valid only on the state of Virginia. If you have a property on Maryland, but you live in Virginia, that is totally fine. You have to use the forms of Virginia. But if you have a property, let's say in El Salvador, that's not gonna take effect over there. And next step, please. Next slide. And basically, summing up, the key point for this workshop. When budgeting as a new homeowner, our goal is to use this 50, 30, and 20 rule. Number two, avoid defaulting in mortgages. How you are going to fold? The best way, have an emergency fund that can be used for unexpected expenses like repairs or higher utility bills. Go ahead, please. Number three, don't forget about your insurance. Okay, shop around for the best insurance that fits your monthly budget. Please, this is extremely important, that fits your monthly budget. And number four, and the last one, now that you are a homeowner, remember to maintain accurate record of your finances and important legal documents. Just be prepared, just be organized. That's gonna be the best advice. Amanda.
Very good. Well, thank you, Martin. That was a lot of information and very comprehensive for all the watching today about all the different aspects of being a new homeowner, including that budget, protecting yourself with insurance in case something unexpected happens, so your budget doesn't get out of whack, having that your emergency savings fund, and keeping everything maintained, all of those important documents just in case anything ever were to happen. Those are all great tips and really great information for the families watching today. So now we're going to jump into question and answer. So if anybody has a question for Martin, go ahead and put that in the chat box now. But if you have a more personal question that you'd like to reach out to him directly, you can certainly do that. His information is up on the screen for you now, as well as the chat box. So you can go ahead and read that, and you can reach out to Martin directly if you have a personal situation that you maybe would like some assistance or some counseling on. He's certainly available to help with that. But to get us started, Martin, I had a question for you that I'm wondering if maybe some of the people watching today might have in the back of their mind. And that is, something unexpected is happening, some life event, and they're not able to make next month's mortgage payment. What's the first thing they should do?
That is absolutely important question. So many people, so many of my clients, so they learn it but the wrong way. And so many people try to hide this situation. That is absolutely not recommended. So the best way, if you are in that kind of situation, please, number one, look for help. What is the right door that you have to knock? Number one, you say mortgage company. And number two, we are agencies here in your community that we are here to help. All right. So but find the right person. If you would like to knock our doors are always welcome to get new clients and help them for absolutely free. But you need to reach out, so nobody is gonna know that you are in trouble until you to go out and explain and reach for help.
In your experience, have you seen that mortgage companies are usually willing to work with families if something happens to their budget, to their finances?
Absolutely. Personally, I'm a housing counselor since the 2008 housing crisis. And believe me, along all those years, we working directly with mortgage companies and homeowners, like many of the families here today, and we reach, believe me, Amanda, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of workout agreement, loan modification that are able to reduce the interest rate, reduce mortgage payment, take over whatever default balance. But this is part of a negotiation. One of the important things that people need to understand is the bank doesn't want your house.
Mm.
The bank doesn't gonna do anything with the house. The bank basically they want to continue receiving their monthly mortgage payment. So, and we are here to help, and the bank is absolutely open to negotiate when we reach them on the right time, on with the right and with the right plan. That's why back again, the budget is extremely important, but there is several options. Absolutely, Amanda.
Very good. Okay, I have one more question for you, and then it looks like we will wrap things up because I'm not seeing anything else in the chat box. So, are there any available resources for families right now in regards to mortgage if they might have been affected by COVID?
Well, yes, yeah, and the immediately answer is yes. For those families who their financial situation were affected by the recent COVID-19, still in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have something that we call the Virginia Mortgage Relief. Virginia Mortgage Relief is a federal funding able to assist any first-time home buyer or home buyer on distress. So, and through the Virginia Mortgage Relief, they can pay up to $40,000 in mortgage default, but not only in mortgage for those families who fall behind in the homeowner association, sorry, or the
Mm.
condo fee association. Virginia Mortgage Relief also will help you to pay all these default balance. Absolutely important. But if any of you needs to like to explore this, so please reach out Virginia Mortgage Relief, Amanda or myself. So because the money is getting out very soon.
Very good. We just put in the chat box the link for Virginia Mortgage Relief. If anybody would like to explore that option, and send you that link again via email if you need that as well. So with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up today. Thank you all for joining us, especially Martin. That was really great information. If you would like to watch another one of our virtual workshops, you can do so by checking out loudandhabitat.org/tools for life. Our recorded workshops there, including this one. This is recorded and will be up again for you to watch if you'd like to go back and take some more notes or remind yourself of the 50-30-20 rule, for example. You can do that starting next week, or you can sign up for our next free live workshop, which is going to be May 12th at 12 o'clock. We're going to be partnering with Wells Fargo Bank, and they're going to be talking about the home finance process and for families that are interested in refinancing their mortgage. So we'd love for you to join us for that workshop, and we hope that you all have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda.